So an extremely unfortunate event has crowned your boy 2022's unofficial best success story for quiet quitting. And let me explain how. A lot of you have been following this journey from the beginning. It's been, I don't know, like 150 days, and it has been a wild roller coaster. I mean, I just don't even know where to begin when it comes to the amount of emotional, just like ups and downs that I've had. But your boy stayed true to the faith. And from the very beginning, when this situation happened, I was talking to you guys and I was just wondering, all right, what should I do? Right now, I am being forced to either stay in pharma and find another biotech option, go back to medical device and really just get back to that feeling of being needed, because it was such a cool space to be in, and it was one of those where I really felt appreciated for the amount of time that I was putting into it. And lastly, try something completely new, which was tech. But I really wanted to get into med tech, but I didn't know if there was any possible way that that was going to happen. So I was already thinking, if I'm going to go the tech route, I'm gonna have to take some ridiculous step back and have to start all over. But with a family, that's like the question of all questions. Like, do you have the capability to do that right now? And to be honest, like I didn't think I did. I really didn't want to take that kind of a step back, become a business development rep, and have to work my way back up the ranks. So that was really kind of on the back burner while I was focusing all of my attention on biotech and device. But your boy, like I tell you guys, you have to network. And what happened for me was a neighbor of mine, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna try to give you some bullshit where it makes it seem like I'm just like some badass. But I was just talking to my neighbor. What a wonderful person. And just letting him know what I was going through. We were just, chilling. And he was like, man, so why don't you think about med tech? And I said, I want to get into med tech, but the problem with is I just don't have the experience to get into something like that. And he was like, you know what? I know somebody. Let me just introduce you guys. And from there, obviously you have to sell yourself. I was like, whatever, I'm in. That's going to work out anyway. Like I need to get more information about this space. So let me go ahead and do something like that. So I reach out to this contact, and this was pretty much like right at the beginning of this 150-day cycle. And as you guys know, I went through multiple interviews. There were several different companies that I would get to the end, and either they would go with somebody that has way more experience than me, which, I mean, I'm a young person in a very like developed space of where your career is already developed. So it was already kind of hard for me to compete against them. But now I'm trying to get into a space where I don't have any kind of experience and going to try to compete with people that have way more experience than I do in a realm that I have like zero experience. So I was like, what do I got to lose, right? And I finally get into this process. I'm having a conversation with the global director of sales, and it was just wild. We clicked really well. Things just worked out, and the conversation that we were having went both ways. I was really leaning on him to just teach me about the space, let me know what's going on, and to maybe introduce me to a couple of places where I could come in and possibly like someone who would take a chance on me. But at the same time, I went to his company's website and I saw that they had an opening. So during that initial conversation, I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys have an opening. It would be stupid of me not to at least throw my hat into that ring. I know that you and I just met and I'm here telling you how little experience I have, but let me at least try to sell you on why I'm going to be one of the best candidates that you're ever going to interview. And like 150 days later, your boy got the job, okay? I literally turned down another offer probably 2 weeks before this offer came in. And I was just telling myself, in my gut, I told you guys in the last video, I wasn't feeling it. It just wasn't for me. So I got the job, and I am so stoked to be in this med tech space, because what's wild is in 2020, there was probably only about like $19 billion that was invested within medtech. Then 2021 hits, pandemic, and it doubled to about just under, I think, 41 billion. And in 2022, it fucking doubled again. And we're sitting at just around like $90 billion worth of investments. And we're talking venture capitalist firms, large corporations like CVS. You see what Walgreens has done. You see what Walmart's doing, getting into the space. Amazon is getting into the space. Like everybody is getting into the space. So this is prime time for me to be, not one, getting into the space, not two, getting into a startup within this space, but three, landing an opportunity that makes me essentially right now, title alone is sales director for the South Central, but I got to develop this area. But what's awesome is I am the sales director for the South Central. That is insane. So I have all of the South Central states, and I am going to be growing this book of business in a brand new startup and learning this whole new environment, which you guys have already seen in a video. And if you following me on Instagram, you're seeing the travel that I'm doing and stuff. And it's just wild. Like the meetings that I'm taking, the conversations that I'm having, this is such a fantastic space that I can't tell you guys how exciting it is. And I want to tell you guys more about it and take you along for the journey. And I hope you guys are excited too, but kind of getting back to the very beginning of the video where I said I'm like one of the most successful quiet quitters that there are. I've been getting messages from people asking me that are trying to interview to get into certain roles like this. And now I can start talking about how your boy is in medtech, so I can start saying I'm a medtech person and, offer some advice there, but I don't know, but we'll see. What's wild is people are talking about quiet quitting. And I feel like I just got to give my 2 cents on this and why I'm the unofficial winner of that campaign, maybe. And let me tell you why, what quiet quitting is first, why they're asking me if they should do it, and how I would suggest doing it, and why, I'm going to be the winner. No matter what you did, I'm going to be the winner. But quiet quitting isn't even actually quitting. You're not quitting your job. You're just not going above and beyond for your job anymore. And in my opinion, maybe it's a millennial opinion, that's what everybody likes to say, I believe that that's okay. Because when you're killing yourself day in and day out, putting in all that extra work, and you're not getting anything for it, but the organization is, it's just wild to believe that this is what the expectation is for you to earn on average, anywhere between a 1% to 3% salary bump at the end of the year. That doesn't even cover the inflation of what's going on right now. So you're killing yourself, not even doing something that you love and spending more time on that than other hobbies, your family, your relationship, just anything. You're spending more time on this for a possible, on average, 1% to 3% raise, when since 2009, inflation has gone up around 40%. And we're sitting here talking about splitting hairs on how hard you have to work to keep your job because you have to outdo the person next to you for that 1% to 3% raise. I think that's ridiculous. So when people ask me, should I start quiet quitting so that I can spend more time interviewing and looking for another role? I'm rightfully so. I'm yes. And the reason that I say yes is after reading the last book that I read, which was Master Your Time, Master Your Life, I believe. I'll link it down below or put a tag somewhere around here. They did a study and they showed that people that work in an office, they get the amount of work that they do in a day, in an 8-hour day inside of an office, is really only about 2 to 2.5 hours worth of work. The rest of the time is spent just bullshitting, staring at your phone, chatting with Kathy at the water station, and avoiding people, essentially. So you're telling me that what you're wanting to do is essentially quiet quit and look for another job that you're going to feel more fulfilled in. I mean, I'm all for it when you're asking me should you do it? But at the same time, I almost feel like you're not even quiet quitting, because if that on average, people that are working in offices are only putting 2.5 hours worth of work into something, then you're going to get your job done in that same amount of time. But just don't tell people what you're doing. Do whatever it is that you need to do so that you can get into this space if this is where you're trying to go. But that is unfortunate. Like, you're going to have to do things like that so that you can figure out how to interview and get into this position. But, you know, to each their own. I don't believe that it makes you any less of a person. I think that it's really dumb that corporations feel like you should go above and beyond for them, but they're not going to go above and beyond for you when it comes to paying you what you're worth. And I'll add, you know, the cherry on top to what corporations are doing. Instead of paying you more money for the work that you're doing and the hard work that they want from you, they're actually investing into digital productivity softwares to check you and see if you're going above and beyond or if you are quiet quitting. So that just baffles me. Instead of working with your employees and making them just happier to be here with you, working for your organization, you would rather, you know, big brother over their shoulder and see if they're actually doing it so that you can justify whether or not to give them that 1 to 3% raise. That's wild. Now let me tell you guys why I am the unofficial winner of this. I was pushed into quiet quitting in the sense of not really working and getting paid to do it. And when I look back at this extremely stressful time in my life, it was actually like a wild blessing financially. And I probably shaved some years off of my own life just due to the stress that I put on myself. But it's wild. It would be very cool if everybody got to do something like this, and hopefully people that are in similar situations like me, because Novartis is still doing hardcore layoffs all the way across the board, but they aren't telling people how much they're getting. So as of right now, I'm the official winner. But over that course of 150 days to my severance package to getting paid out on all of my other long-term incentives and all of that, in a span of 150 days, I will have made probably like $130,000 from that organization because they were kind enough to let go of me without letting go of me because they kept paying me to interview and go do stuff. But you know what? I'm still pissed off. I'm still petty about it. That's going to be another chip on my shoulder, and I'm coming. That sounds really bad. I'm going to go hard, all right, at destroying this opportunity that I'm in. I am going to do so good that I'm just going to prove to not only myself, but to you guys so that you can use maybe this content in an interview and go, look, this guy did it. He got into a sales director role with no experience. Take a shot on me. This is why you need to take a shot on me. And I'm going to show you guys like how successful I can be in it. And if not, this is going to be the greatest documented story of how I failed. That's wild, because that means like these videos that I will not delete will end up lasting like a lifetime, and my grandkids' kids will see how I failed. But that's not going to be an option because I don't look at that as an option. I'm going to win at this, and this is just going into a rant now at this point. But I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited for this journey. I put those interview videos out there, and I'm already getting some awesome positive feedback on that. Feel free to reach out and, you know, dig deeper on some of the questions that we're getting asked. If you want to like vibe back and forth on how you should answer something, feel free to reach out to me. And also, there are other things that I'm going to be bringing to this channel that I hope you guys are going to get excited about. But one of the biggest pieces of the content is going to be, I guess, like kind of like daily vlogging style, but a lot of that will probably go to just Instagram because it's a little bit easier, and then whatever I can, I'll compile all that together to like something else. But regardless, love the comments. I love the interactions that I'm getting from you guys. Please keep hitting me up. I'm totally loving it. There's some big collaborations coming around the corner. And if you're looking for some more information on interviewing, hit that video right there.